feel like we talk about Gen Z a lot. Why do they always pop in? They must be very like...
Taken over?
They must be taken over. Are they taken over?
I don't know. What age bracket is that?
Yeah, it's a great question. Gen Z is born between 1997 and 2012, which makes them 12 to 27 years old. Both my kids are Gen Z. Okay. Yeah, yours is Gen Alpha. Yeah, because Danica's like the very...
2015.
Yeah, Danica's the very tail end of Gen Z. So we've talked about Gen Z in the past, and one of the things we talked about is how they embrace plastic surgery. And so the topic we're going to talk about today is Gen Z too young for Botox. And the reason we're talking...
Is this an AI image?
I knew you would figure it out.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
So actually, I made this one.
Why are they in a field?
I don't know.
I ain't gonna lie. Okay, so I couldn't tell at first, but the person in the middle, like the kid in the very middle, their eyes are wow.
I know. I zoomed in and I noticed that too, Travis, because like I have to zoom in to like do the lettering for the graphics. And I was like, what's up with this kid's eyes?
The one in the back, the boy.
It's a pretty good image though, right?
It looks like it's like a commercial for like Abercrombie or like Tommy Hilfiger or something.
It looks like Gen Zers though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I made this one with Grok. I've been using Grok a little bit more. That's the AI associated with X or Twitter. And it's actually better in making pictures than ChatGPT, if anybody's interested in AI. Yeah, so AI picture, yeah. I was wondering, I was going to try and slip that one under the radar for you guys. All right, so the reason we're talking about Gen Zs and Botox is there was actually an article released just recently, this past week, and I think I have a picture of it. Travis, throw it up there in case somebody wants to check it out. Yeah, it's USA Today. Gen Z's overdoing Botox, making them look old. When's the right time to get it? Well, luckily, I am here to tell you. In fact, actually, I've done 3 media interviews
about Botox?
About this exact topic. One of them was local. I always like to do local stuff. One was WRLD, is that right?
Is it radio?
Yeah, it was a radio one.
Is it KRLD?
KRLD, sorry. Yeah,
KRLD.
W is on the East Coast. Yeah, sorry. KRLD. Yeah, I did a TV one this morning with New York, which was kind of cool, and I got one more next week. Anyway.
That's fun.
I digress. So Gen Zs, born 1997 to 2012, that makes them 12 to 27 years old. And as we said, they really have embraced kind of plastic surgery and cosmetic procedures.
Well, that's like the whole, they grew up watching like, I mean, I grew up watching the Kardashians too, but like the getting like the fillers in their lips and stuff.
Yeah.
And all of that, that's like goes along with the Botox. And
exactly right. You're
like
100% correct.
Hyper fixation on like skincare products.
Yes. Yep.
And Avery's already doing that crap.
Danica is too. Well, Avery's even younger than Danica.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I gotta get. She gets like in a habit of it for like a couple of days, and then she forgets all about it. But
well, actually, that's
like
part of what I'm going to talk about as well. Yeah, we talked about how Gen Z is doing plastic surgery and especially minimally invasive cosmetic procedures at a much higher rate than previous generations. And why is that? Social media. It's 100%. Yeah. It's not 100% social media, but that is the biggest part of it. Gen Z is the first generation that grew up entirely with social media. Like millennials got a little bit of it. Yeah. But social media has been around as long as Gen Zs have really been, aware basically, because, wasn't social media start like, it was about 20 years ago with Facebook, so that the Gen Zers would have been like 7, right? So that's all they know is social media. And you get all these influencers on social media talking about getting these procedures. There's that push to look your best for social media, like the Zoom effect where people are working from home and they're seeing themselves on camera. And so it's not surprising at all that Gen Z...
And all those filters.
Yeah, all the filters. Yeah, exactly right. It's not hard to figure out why Gen Zers have embraced these things. And so, this article popped up about Gen Zs overdoing Botox and are they too young? And I think the short answer to this is yes. We've talked about Botox in the past in a couple different segments. Botox is a muscle paralytic. You like Botox, right? You like yours, yeah. It's a muscle paralytic. Yeah. It paralyzes the muscles that cause wrinkles to form on your face. So when I lift my eyebrows and I get these wrinkles here, you can barely see them. I'm pretty good. I don't have a lot of wrinkles for my age. Smile lines, which I don't really have that either. And the last one is these frowny lines, which I'm kind of genetically lucky. I just don't have a lot of wrinkles. But at my age, most people would. And so Botox paralyzes these muscles, which prevent those wrinkles from forming. But but what it also does is it's preventative.
Yeah.
Because as you age, these lines become permanent. They start to get etched into your skin.
Right.
And so if you start taking Botox when you're young and you don't allow your muscles to make those repetitive motions, then you will never get them. And I always use my wife as an example. She's been using Botox now for almost 20 years. And so that means she started, late 20s, around 30. And she looks freakishly young. She has no wrinkles, and she doesn't look her age. And it's not because she's had a lot of procedures done. She uses Botox, and it's just gone a long way to preventing those. And so there is some preventative benefit to Botox, but I just think that Gen Z is just not quite there. Maybe the oldest Gen Z, 27, I could buy a 27-year-old doing Botox if they maybe genetically were more prone to have wrinkles.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah.
I'm like, some people just have.
They do.
Their skin just ages faster.
I think that the broad-based answer to this question is yes, they're too young, but maybe the very oldest
There's always
ones.
Special.
Yeah, like a few of the very
Like I don't
oldest
think an 18-year-old should be getting.
No, I think that if you're younger than 25, absolutely no. As you get in your late 20s, maybe I think 30 is kind of like the sweet spot for where you start. Because it is best if you start Botox before the wrinkles actually form. Now that doesn't mean that you don't get any effect if they already have. Because I have 60-year-olds that come in, they're like, oh, I think it's about time to start the Botox, and I'm like, yeah,
you should have done that. What?
I mean, I don't say that, but you're right. Like they would have had a better effect had they started earlier. Yeah. So I guess the next question, is it harmful to do this if you're 20?
I don't think it would be harmful. I think it would just be harmful for them, like internally, mentally.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's a perfect answer. I would agree with you that there's no like medical risk of doing Botox too early. We've talked about the safety profile for Botox, even though it is a very potent neurotoxin. The safety profile is almost pristine.
Yeah.
Outside of those, remember the fake tox, the Photox?
Yes.
Where that was actually causing problems. But the good Botox, like the real stuff, is very, very safe. One of the things that article mentioned in the title is it's making them look old. Didn't it say that, Charles? It makes them look old? Did I imagine that article? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
Yeah, it makes them look old. Yeah. So I think that is a misstatement. The only way Botox is going to make someone look artificially old is if they got really way too much Botox where they couldn't move their face at all, because sometimes people associate that with older people.
Yeah, their eyebrows are too arched situation.
I think for the most part, if Botox is done right, most people won't know you've had it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just going to look refreshed. You're going to look good. So I think that where Gen Zs, and I've talked about this before, I can't remember talking about on the show or if it's a media interview or what, where I think Gen Zers or young people get looking too old is the fillers.
The fillers, and then whenever they do that buccal fat removal thing.
Buccal fat removal? Yeah, that's very bad. Yeah, that's right. See, look how smart.
They look hollowed out.
When people get their lips really blown up, or if they get a ton of filler in their cheek, it just gives them that look of somebody who's trying to not look old.
Yeah.
And so
it's not like they really do look old. It's just that
they went too far.
Yeah.
We've said this a million times that the best non-invasive or even surgery is the one that no one knows you've had.
Yeah.
If somebody can pick out that you've had a procedure, then to me
What's the point? Why did you pay all that money?
It's not a good procedure. Yeah. I mean, some people do like the artificial look. I mean, I see that a lot with people wanting breast augmentations. I'm like, look, this is going to make you look not.
Like people are gonna know.
People are gonna know, and they're like, that's what I want. And I'm like, hey, cool. But I think with the face, that I just don't like that personally. When someone looks so artificial, and I really do try to talk people out of that. If they want too much lip filler, because lip filler can be done great. I mean, it's been forever, but I posted a few Instagram pics of people that I did lip filler on, and it's like, man, their lips look solid.
Yeah.
Like, they don't look fake. They just look great.
You got some solid lips.
I mean, solid, good. They just they look like a supermodel lip or something, but not like too big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you can definitely do this stuff and have it look good. But should they be using filler? Well, I mean, there are fillers, and we've been kind of dancing around this part, is there are fillers that you use not to look younger, but you use to change your appearance a little bit. Like, I don't have a problem with like an early 20-year-old getting a little lip filler. If it's done right, it could look awesome.
It's like the whole part of like being young is like there's certain features of your face that when you get older, they are more noticeable, like higher like your cheekbones start sticking out more, like your face isn't
like hollows out.
Yeah, and so like whenever you get fillers in your face right there, I would think that would make you look older when you're not, because when you're 18 years old, your face is still like, you might still have a little like a baby face.
Yeah.
Your face is still a little bit younger.
You know, age. I mean, I totally get what you're saying. I generally associate like high cheekbones with youthfulness.
Really?
Yeah, because what happens there is like as we age, you know, get into our 50s and 60s, our mid face starts to hollow a bit. Like it just what happens, and so that's why like Voluma, which is the cheek filler, is really popular with like middle-aged women, like 40 plus.
Yeah.
Because it is common for the mid face to start to hollow out a bit.
Yeah.
And so it also helps plump it up, which helps like mask the fall a little bit.
That makes sense.
But if you overdo it and you get these really big cheeks, it's funny, like, you know, my wife and I watch TV, we'll see someone like, oh, too much cheek filler. Yeah, we can just like pick it out. Where it just
and then
looks unnatural.
I feel like but then I feel like if the filler's too much, then it makes them look like they do have like that buccal or buccal fat
removal,
because it like makes their...
Yeah, we've talked about that where we've looked at someone like, is that buccal fat removal or is that too much cheek filler? But see, you shouldn't be talking about that, right? If you're picking those things out, like you've gone too far. Yeah. And it definitely can make you look older. You know, and the last thing I want to mention about this is what you were talking about with Avery is, you know, if you're in your early 20s, late teens, so like for Gen Zers, and you want to do something to stay youthful, skincare regimens are actually really good.
Sunscreen.
Yes, perfect. So the 3 pillars of good skincare are a good cleanser, a good moisturizer, and sunscreen. Yeah. You know, you have no idea how far that will go to keep your skin looking young. I think we have
an episode that I did about how to clean your face.
You did one?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, we did some
skincare one.
You start to forget. We did one. I don't know if you were here that day. It may have been Danica. I think it was maybe when you were out of town. We did one on skincare for teens. Yeah. Because, like, you know, like I said, Danica's already got a skincare routine. And I don't think that that's going too far. But, you know, when you're talking about teens especially, you just need to keep it simple. Yeah. Like, you don't have to do all the crazy stuff that a lot of adults need to do because they're correcting things. Yeah. You're only doing preventative. So it's cleanser, moisturizer.
Yeah, I think mine was talking about retinol use, too.
Oh, retinol, right.
Yeah. Yeah. When should people start using retinol? I forget. I think I talked about it.
Definitely not like in your teens or early years. Retinol is really more corrective. Yeah. So, you know, that wouldn't be something that necessarily teens would want to take. No. So.
But like after 18. But that generation that you're talking about that wants to keep getting, like, are they too young to get Botox? Like maybe retinol is more of a
maybe like
their
later.
First step.
Yeah.
Instead of getting Botox.
Yes, I'd say that that's probably true. Just really depends on, you know, I mean, they're kind of treating different things, so it just depends on what they're trying to do, you know. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people ask me, like, what's the best age to start Botox? Well, I mean, it kind of depends person to person, right? Because you got people like me who, you know, I'm pushing 50 and I don't really have a lot of wrinkles.
Because you'd be getting that laser on your face.
That does help. It's the one thing I do.
Yeah,
that's the one thing I do. I love that laser, man. I do that every year.
On your face.
But even before that, like I was hanging in there, you know. And so I'm like kind of, you know, just genetically, I got the good genetics for that. I didn't get the height, but I got the no wrinkles. So, but then there are other people who, I mean, I remember even in high school, I had a friend and like he already had like smile lines and he was 18. Yeah. Which that's crazy young to have that. But you know, the guy spent, you know, his summers outside in the sun for years and years, and he just genetically had strong muscles at the side of his eyes, and he already had wrinkles. Right. So, you know, I think the generic answer is, you know, probably about 30, but there are exceptions.
Yeah. I think, so Cindy Hermann chimed in. She said, 35, and I love it. Botox is at the top of my list of favorite things for the last 15 years.
It's been 15? Yeah.
About 15.
She's like, no, 15.
I can't remember. I couldn't remember when she started, but so.